So we're going to go ahead and get started in Design Space. We are going to be using the slice tool today and adding some text and then slicing the word Lucy out of the heart. So I'll show you how to do that. But the first thing we want to do is come up to the top right hand corner and make sure that you have the right machine selected. So we're working with the Cricut Joy today, but if you need to change this, you'll just click on it and select your correct machine. And you can use any of the machines for this project. Then from there, we are going to add a heart image onto the canvas. So I just went over here to images, typed in heart, and then I found one that I liked. And I went ahead with this one. So you can just click on it, click insert images, and now we've got this on our canvas. By the way, there is a free heart image over here under shapes. This guy is completely free to use. I believe this one you'll either have to purchase or you'll need a Cricut Access membership. But this one's free if you want to use that one. So I'm going to go ahead and get that deleted. And now we have our heart on the canvas. I'm just going to make it really big just for the purpose of you being able to easily see this. And then we'll resize it at the end. If you come over to the layers panel, you'll see that there are actually 2 layers to this heart, and we don't need this hidden one. You see how the eyeball has a line through it? It means this image is hidden. So if you click on that, we can see now that it's a 2-layered image. So we can go ahead and delete that black heart. And now we've got our one heart. Now from here, we're going to add some text. So click on text and you'll type in the name. I'm using Lucy. Now the font that I use for this project is a system font. I purchased it on Etsy and it's called Barley. So I'm just going to type in Barley, but you can use any font for this project. If you do want to use this one, if you just search for Barley font on Etsy, it will pop up for you. It's a really pretty script font, but there are tons of fonts that you can use for free as well. So now from here, again, I'm just going to size it big just for the purpose of being able to see it easily. Now, do you see how all the letters are separate? I don't want it to look like that. So the first thing we're going to do is come up top here and click Ungroup. And now I'm going to click on the U, and do you see how it's all on its own now? Now I'm going to use my keyboard and the left-hand arrow, and I'm just going to tap and move it over. And the reason I'm doing this and not clicking and dragging is because I want it to stay in line with where it was placed. So just move it over, and then we'll do the same thing with the C and the Y. Perfect. Now we are going to click and highlight all of the letters, and we're going to weld them together using this tool down here, the weld tool. Now we can click and drag and move our Lucy, and from here you can use this arrow right here to size it however big you want it to be. I think there looks about good. And now I'm going to highlight both the Lucy and the heart, and I'm going to come up to a line, and I'm going to center it horizontally and center it vertically. Perfect. So now my text is exactly in the middle of the heart. And then we are going to use the slice tool now. So I've got both of them selected still, and we'll click on slice. And it doesn't look like anything happened, but if you go ahead and start moving these pieces, it cut the word Lucy out of our heart. Isn't that awesome? So I am going to delete one of these. I usually just leave one hidden. If you hide something on the canvas, it won't cut it. I just like to have it just in case I need to use that again. Okay, then the last thing we're going to do is resize this. I wanted my heart to be about 3.5 inches in width. So if you come up here to size, I just typed in 3.5. I left the lock on so that this stays proportionate. Click enter, and then it will size it perfectly according to the correct dimension for the height. That is how I did this design. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one deleted, and now we can send it to our Joy and get connected. But I'm actually going to do that on my iPad. I like to design my projects in Design Space on my computer. I personally just think it's easier for me, so we'll hop over to the iPad next. Alright, so I know that I just said I was going to connect my Joy to my iPad, but unfortunately my iPad is completely out of battery, so I have it connected to my computer over Bluetooth. As you can see, it's connected, it's flashing, so we're good to go. I've got my smart vinyl here. I am using removable because I want to be able to change this out whenever I want to, but if you want something that's more permanent, then use permanent vinyl. So we'll get this open. And then with the smart vinyl, I just pulled it out of the box and it's all rolled up nicely. You can either cut your material to size, and if I were doing that, I would need 4.5 inches, I believe. Yes. But otherwise, I usually cut my smart vinyl at the end to size, just a total preference thing. You can do whatever you like. So then in Design Space, I chose that we were using a smart material, so you do not need a cutting mat with smart vinyl. And then I also selected smart vinyl removable as my cutting setting. So now I'm gonna get this loaded in, and we're gonna go straight up against this roller bar, and the Joy will detect it. And it's gonna pull it through, align it, and just make sure that we have enough material. All right, so now my computer is telling me that we are ready to go, so I'm gonna hit go, and it will start to cut. So now my computer is telling me that it's all finished. You can see from the flashing light again. So I'm gonna go ahead and click unload on my computer. And now we are all finished. So that took just like 30 seconds, probably not even, to cut. It's a pretty quick machine and it was a pretty simple design. So we're all finished with our Joy now. And the next thing I'm going to do is grab a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to cut my vinyl down to size. So what I'm going to do is, I want to keep it straight, so I'm gonna cut from the back. I'm just like lining up my fingers here so I know where to cut. And so I'm gonna cut along this line, so that way I keep my material straight, which is super important when you're working with the Joy and these smart materials. You could also use a paper trimmer to cut your vinyl. That would keep it straight as well. But there's what that looks like. Now the next thing we're going to do is weed our vinyl. So I'm using a weeder tool here, and this means to remove the vinyl, the excess vinyl from around your design and inside of it. So I like to start in usually the top left-hand corner, but any corner will do, and just pull at a 45-degree angle. And now I'm going to remove the Lucy from inside of the design, so that we have our decal. Next, I'm gonna trim this paper away just so that it's a little easier to work with when we apply the transfer tape. Okay, perfect. Now let's grab our transfer tape. I'm gonna get this out of the box. I'm using the Cricut Joy transfer tape. The standard transfer tape from Cricut would do as well. Just make sure you're not using strong grip because that is for the glitter shimmer vinyl. So get this out of the box. And I'm just going to cut it to the size that I need. So I'm gonna get it lined up here, and then I'm gonna cut down this line. Now we're going to take our transfer tape and apply it on top of our vinyl. So right now the transfer tape is on this paper backing, so you can remove the transfer tape. But hold on to this piece of paper because you can reuse your tape at the end for future projects. Now I'm gonna lay the tape on top. It's super important that you get this tape applied evenly across your whole design, so going slow will be really helpful. I like to start in one end and just push my fingers down and then work my way down from there, just going nice and slow. I just find that that helps me to apply it evenly. And then I'm gonna take a scraper tool and I'm going to burnish, which just means to push down like this on the front and also on the back side as well. I just find it has the best adhesion. So our goal here is to get the vinyl to stick to the transfer tape now and not to the paper backing that the vinyl is on. So we're gonna start in a corner again, and we're looking for our vinyl to be stuck onto the transfer tape. So as you can tell right now, mine isn't. So I'm gonna go back over again and really make sure I push down. Okay, let's try this again. Perfect. So I just must not have pushed hard enough the first time. So I'm removing this paper backing again at a 45-degree angle, and just make sure you go nice and slow because you want all of your pieces of the design to stay on the transfer tape and not be on the paper backing anymore. Sometimes I find that rocking it a little bit helps, but just go nice and slow. We want to make sure everything stays, and that applied perfectly. All right, so now we'll take our jar, and I already made sure that mine was clean, but just make sure that you wipe it down with like some rubbing alcohol or something and that there's nothing on here, no dust or anything. We're going to take our vinyl and we're going to kind of eyeball where we want it to be, but don't place it down just yet. Kind of figure out where you want it to be. And then once you've got an idea, again, we're gonna start like at that one end, and I'm going to carefully push down to the other end. Now we'll take the scraper tool and burnish. And then once again, we'll pull from a corner. And now we're wanting, of course, our vinyl to be stuck to the mason jar and not on our transfer tape anymore. So this is going perfectly, which is awesome. So just go nice and slow. If you find that something is still sticking to your transfer tape, you can go back over and burnish again. Perfect. So there's our jar. And then, like I said before, you can reuse your transfer tape, so just put that back on the paper backing and use that for another project. But now we've got our decal on our jar, and you can go ahead with your scraper tool and just carefully push down. If you see like any air bubbles, go ahead and work those out, but ours is looking perfect. So I'll give you a nice little close-up here. That is how you can use the Cricut Joy and some smart vinyl just to make a simple vinyl decal. And honestly, I'm thinking this, I made this for a dog treat jar, but it would be cute just to have one of these as a drinking glass as well. Just a little personalized gift would be fun. So that is how you use the Cricut Joy and smart vinyl. I will link everything that I use in this project in the description below, and you can grab it from our website. We are a family-owned business that sells Cricut supplies, so when you shop from us, you're supporting a family-owned business, and we're super grateful for that. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below, and we'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching.